to the kitchen. You might surely wonder why I am in here. And the reason for that is that I basically had no flying idea what I should really do this week. And I thought, well, it's the first video of February. I could do a monthly favorites. This month passed so quickly that I couldn't even develop favorites. And so I decided, no, you will do a cooking video. We are going to make pumpkin soup from 2 big, well, actually they are small, Hokkaido pumpkins. So this is going to be kind of vloggy, so don't get yourself drifted away and bored by this video because of that. The first thing that I'm going to do is cut my garlic and my onions into small pieces, and then I'm going to roast them in this thing. For this I'm using a very big old knife, like that, and first I'm going to take off the wrap so that woody kind of stuff doesn't get into the soup. You don't want your hands to smell like garlic for the next 2 to 4 days. I would recommend that you use gloves for that. And also for the onions. This is always so smelly. Hate it. Even after when I was showering, no, they still smell like garlic or onion, whatever I put. Hoppala. Almost stabbing myself. And I bet my mother is coming home while I'm doing this video, and she will be wondering why I am cooking instead of making a video. But then I'm going to have to explain it to her. She will be happy. That means she doesn't have to cook tomorrow. And yeah, we still have kettle soup in the refrigerator, but like we already ate some of that yesterday, and I think also the day before. No, I think yesterday was the first day. But some changes simply in our eating habits will be nice, I hope, in her eyes. So we always keep these things from food that is wrapped in there, and we always use it as table dustbins. So first, cutting this into small pieces. And very small. And if you use a knife this big, careful not to stab yourself or not to cut into your finger. Just as much. So don't do that at home. don't know the text, but we are doing the dance of that video in PE class, Carnival, because at our school for the 5th and 6th grade there's always this party for them in our school theater, and the sports course of my sports teacher always does something for the littles. Well, it will keep me from having too many lessons, but it will also be a hard time because of my cosplay that I'm going to wear that day, because I'm going to have to change, and my cosplay includes a corset, and that is just really hard to take off and put on. Almost certain that I'm going to need the help of my friends then when doing that. So much for the garlic. Now the onions. I will have to try and keep myself from crying just by breathing through my mouth. Sorry if my arm is directly inside of the camera lens. And since we are going to roast this both at the same time, we can just put it on one giant pile. I guess the camera perspective from the other side would be way better, but then I am afraid that I will knock over my tripod, and no, just no, and I cry. And that's the worst thing about crying. If you cry from an onion, that is because you were breathing through your nose. But when you start crying, you start pulling up what's inside your nose, and yeah, making those noises with that, and then even more of that stuff from the onion gets inside your nose, and but more. Sorry, I sound actually not. Sorry if in the background you can hear some pretty shitty music, but right before my house there is an old place where firemen were storing their cars when I was young, and they sold that house to some music club, and now every Tuesday they are playing music, and Tuesday is basically the only day where I can record videos, except for the weekend, and on the weekends I'm very much mostly too busy, which I didn't think of like 2 weeks ago when I went to Cologne. And that was kind of stupid because I didn't have the time to edit then. So once this is done, you take a plate and you just put all in here, just to store it until you are roasting it, because the time between you put this in there and when the pumpkin needs to be put in is way too small. So you better start cutting your pumpkin before. For the pumpkins, you first cut off this thing at the top. Don't know, I think I'm going to need a bigger knife. Ouch! While I'm doing this, I can tell you something. For the past, well, I don't know, for the past 2 weeks, I've been constantly watching The Big Bang Theory, and in connection with that High School Musical song scene that we are dancing in my PE class. Oh, this might work. Ah, there we go. I'm always thinking that Kale Kyoko, who is playing Penny, really looks like and sounds like Ashley Tisdale. Well, I don't know any English version because I'm watching it in German, but I think it's the same speaker in German, and I'm just like, oh my god. They really sound similar, if not to say the same, but it's kind of funny because I'm always getting in. You know the word earworm in English? You have that in English? It's like when you constantly have a song in your mind and you want to sing it, and no, but every time I see Penny on that show, constantly having that song in mind. We're all in this together. And there was all this merch that was just thrown upon you, like Frozen merch is thrown on little children nowadays. And it just went on my nerves. I had like a CD box from High School Musical when I was young. I still never watched it because I always found that was stupid. Well, I think part of the reason why that is that my parents raised me more natural and more horror movie like if my mother had let him, my father would have shown me Alien when I was 4 years old, which is definitely too young. And I think I even watched it once then, but at some point I went to bed, and I did that until the age of 14 when I first watched a movie and actually ended up liking it a lot. But yeah, like when I was 2 years old, they showed me The Lord of the Rings, which just had come out with the third part, Return of the King, and there I first got my mind into these horror-y kind of makeup and elvish kind of makeup. I really like those dresses that Arwen is always wearing. Like, those 3 main characters, they were all my favorite characters. Like Galadriel, she is such a great character. My mother just got home. So, I was talking about, the women in Lord of the Rings. I really liked Galadriel because she had magic powers, and I was always fascinated by that. Even when I was a small child of 2 years, I already liked magic.
ask me why. I have no idea. And I liked Arwen because I thought she was beautiful. And I loved her dresses and all of that. And Eowyn is one of my favorite characters for being a rebel, because everyone told her that she couldn't go to war because she was a woman, but she just didn't care, and she just went to war, and she broke the stereotype that said that only men could be knights, and she was even better than a man when she killed that witch king of Angmar. I liked her. I liked her very much. I was always playing Lord of the Rings when I was young. Like once I tried to be a Nazgul and then I fell down the couch and bumped my head. Maybe that's the reason why I'm like this now. So into the pot you add olive oil until all of the bottom is covered in it, and then you can just put one small piece of onion in there, so you can see when the oil is hot enough to roast these things. And then you just put in the rest of the onions and the garlic. So put on the lid, because if you don't, all the water will go out and it will burn. So when everything is brown, you add the pumpkin in there. And I'm always struggling with this. That's the reason why this clip is so short, because much of it fell onto the floor. I had to clean it off. So, and then we are making stock from 1 liter of water. Chicken stock, vegetable stock. You can use both, but I would recommend that you use vegetable stock. In this video I'm using chicken stock because we didn't have any vegetable stock left, but for real, vegetable stock is way more delicious in this. So you just boil the water. And when it boils, which you can see here, dripping out, when it boils, you just pour it onto the stock powder. And then you should stir it around. That way the powder dissolves nicely. The pumpkin must be very smooth, almost creamy already, and at the point where you put in the stock, and then you have to stir it around again. Because everything of the pumpkin should be covered in stock, and then you just puree it. At this point I have no idea where the flying clip went, where I put in the cream. It should be something between here and there, where I put ham in there. You need 200 grams of ham, just like you need 200 grams of cream. Then you just put in pepper and some nutmeg until it tastes the way you want it to taste. After that you just turn off the heat and put on a lid, and then you let it sit for like half an hour so it can pull out the taste of the ham.
So there we are. I switched to voiceover in the middle of this video just because my mother was here all the time and I really find it awkward to kind of talk to myself while other people are around. So now I have to thank you everyone for watching. And I hope you liked this video. If you did so, then you should give a thumbs up. If you like this video, maybe there will be some more baking videos in the future, or I don't know, like desserts that I'm going to show you how to make. Simple eating stuff that I sometimes make for myself. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I upload most on Instagram. Makeup pictures and landscapes, stuff like that, and how I spend my evening. Twitter I use the least because I don't know why. On Facebook I post some posts on Instagram that I find relevant for my YouTube channel, and like I conclude every YouTube video and some things about being goth and goth stuff in general that bothers me. Like I posted something about what happens to It's Black Friday in the Louvre and in Père Lachaise in Paris, and I really found that disturbing, and I found that I have to comment on that because I just couldn't get that off my heart. So one day I posted something on Facebook about that. The links to those will be in the description box, and my name separately for each social media is in the end card of my video, where you can also see my last video and you can subscribe.